You know what this movie reminds me of? It reminds me of every other movie that comes out in Oscar season. Because this movie was made for an Oscar. Foxcatcher. So this new Oscar-made film, yes, I've done this before this past month, like Birdman and Fury. I mean, it's Oscar season, and there's a lot of movies coming out made for Oscars, and this is the top dog. This movie was made for an Oscar, especially for Steve Carell. So Foxcatcher is about Channing Tatum, who was a wrestler, and he's actually a really, really good wrestler. But his brother, Mark Ruffalo, who is even a good wrestler, he's turning into a coach, and he's really famous, and people look at him, but they don't see his brother, Channing Tatum, who is actually a really good wrestler, and he's trying to become big, but he just can't do it because everyone's like, oh, his brother's so much better, I love you, who's his brother? I don't know who he is, I like Mark Ruffalo though. So then Steve Carell notices that Channing Tatum's really good, and Steve Carell starts to train him and make him better, and he puts him through some stuff that, it's kind of like a father and son relationship, but the father completely makes fun and abuses Channing Tatum. What do I think of this movie? Well, I'll say it again, this movie was made for an Oscar. Get that out of the way. It was made for an Oscar. Alright, so this is a guy who did Moneyball. Moneyball directed this, the guy who did Moneyball is directing this movie. I'm going to start now. The directing is really good. I can already see a Best Director nomination. Channing Tatum. This story is actually following him, and he actually does a really good job. When Channing Tatum, first off, he literally was, I was just like, he's another guy, yada yada. But then when he did 21 Jump Street, his career just completely went boop. And he did Magic Mike, and now he's really big, and now this movie proves he can act, and he does a really good job, and I would not be surprised. I would not. Either him or Mark Ruffalo getting a Best Supporting Actor nomination for this movie, because Mark Ruffalo also does a really good job. Everyone sees him as the Hulk, but this movie proves he's a good actor, and he does a really good job. But Channing Tatum also does a very good job. But you know who steals the show? Hands down, Steve Carell. You can barely tell it's Steve Carell. You can barely tell. Steve Carell, he's not even Steve Carell in this movie. He is this coach. You do not see Steve Carell. Steve Carell steals the show. It's no comedy, it's a drama. Steve Carell steals the show. He absolutely does an Oscar-worthy performance, maybe winning it. I mean, you got Michael Keaton and Benedict Cumberbatch and Jake Gyllenhaal, and there's a lot of other actors who could get the Oscar, but Steve Carell, I'm telling you right now, I would not be shocked if he won it, because he steals the show. He is absolutely flawless in this movie. Steve Carell has now, after watching this, I now know he is a really good freaking actor, and this movie proves it. Everything else though, I mean, the story itself, it is interesting, but it is a little boring. It just has a very slow pacing until it gets to the last 30 minutes, and oh my gosh, the last 30 minutes, I promise you, is my favorite part of this whole movie. It is intense. You're like, whoa, I didn't know it was going to go that far. I mean, the ending is definitely my favorite part of the movie, but the build-up is just really boring, honestly. But I still like the movie. I mean, I still like the movie. It's not worth seeing in theaters, though. But if you do like a lot of acting and you're a really Oscar-worthy person, then this is your movie, because this movie's made for an Oscar. Overall, Foxcatcher is a good movie. It has really good acting from everyone, especially Steve Carell, Channing Tatum, Mark Ruffalo. I mean, they all do a really good job. The directing is really good. I could see this getting nominated for a lot of Oscars, including Best Picture. Do I think it's going to win all of them? No. Do I think it's going to win at least one Oscar? Maybe. But it is a good movie, and I did enjoy it, but I enjoyed the acting, but the movie itself, in my opinion, was a little boring. So I'm going to give this movie, and this is actually a very lower rating I was going to give it, but I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's kind of boring, it's building up, but the ending is just really intense, it's awesome, the acting is awesome, the directing is great, yeah. It was a good movie, but it's just really boring. Anyways. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed this review, see you guys next time. Bye, guys.